according to the Indian spiritual tradition, the whole reason we take birth is to be able to get closer and closer and closer to the actual experiential awareness, not just I read it in a book so I'm aware, or I've heard somebody say it so I'm aware, but actually the experiential awareness of being one with God. And it doesn't matter in what way you worship God, or what religion, or what name, or what form, that doesn't matter. But just the awareness experiential in your cells, in your being, in your heart and your soul. That experience of being one with the divine, of not being separate, of feeling inside you, not just that the divine is something I worship outside, but that same which I worship outside also lives within me. Which actually means, when you think about it, it means several things in our lives. Number one, it means if the divine lives within me, then it means my body and my life is a temple. And all the things that we wouldn't do in a temple, or a church, or a synagogue, or a mosque, or gurdwara, whatever our religion is. Like, you wouldn't go into a temple and start to drink alcohol or take drugs. You wouldn't dump your trash in there. You wouldn't fight with somebody. All sorts of things we wouldn't do. And when we understand that the divine lives within us, then that means that our very being is a temple. Which means that all of the honesty and integrity and piety and devotion that we're filled with in our places of worship is actually how we have to live in our lives. But it also means if that divine is within us, then that divine is also within everyone. Because God doesn't play favorites. It's not like God says, oh yeah, I'm going to be inside you, but I won't be inside someone else. So the minute we have the experiential awareness of the divine within us, we also then understand that the divine is in everyone. And so then that means they are also a temple. And they're not separate from us. Otherwise, we live our lives feeling very, very separate from others. I can cheat you, I can lie to you, I can betray you, because you're separate from me. But if you are me, if you and I are one, then suddenly lying to you, cheating on you, betraying you, hurting you, that's doing it to me. So the entire way that we live in the universe changes. So when you say, what's the purpose of life? Well, it has to begin with that experiential awareness. That how every minute of my life can I get closer and closer and closer to realizing that divinity within me. And then that connection between me and the divine in us. And the closer and closer we get, what you find is not only is your inner world changing, but your outer world is changed. Because the entire way that you live is now different. The way that you treat other people is different. The way you think about yourself is different. Otherwise, we identify just as these bodies. What they look like, how much money they have, what type of clothes they're wearing, where they've gone, what they know how to do. And the minute you realize that actually the body is only a vehicle for this experience and awareness and merging of you with the divine, then suddenly what the body is wearing or what it looks like or how much it weighs or what's happened to it is much less important than how close you are getting minute to minute and moment to moment, to that truth, that capital T truth of who you really are. And that's what we take from it. It's not about accomplishing something or achieving something or doing something. Yes, once we have that awareness, we achieve a lot. But it's not from the ego. It's not from this sense of I must do this. When the experience is there, then the hunger of the world becomes your hunger. Their thirst becomes your thirst. Their pain becomes your pain. And so you serve and you do and you achieve, not to satisfy the ego, but because you can't live any other way. As long as there are people in the world hungry and thirsty and cold and homeless and uneducated and sick and in pain, there's work for you to do. So the actions come out of the awareness rather than vice versa.